I find the ninth plague really fascinating. The darkness that came over the land. It says it was even a darkness which may be felt. This is in Exodus 10:21. So Moses stretched out his hand towards the sky, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt for 3 days, so dark that it could be felt. And they did not see one another, nor did anyone rise from his place for 3 days. But all the sons of Israel had light in their dwellings. I just picturing that darkness that can be felt where you can't even see anybody, and also thinking there's no plumbing, there's no electricity. They didn't move from their places for 3 days. How gross and how horrible would that have been? And what's also interesting, the sons of Israel had light in their dwellings. So it wasn't outside, it wasn't light in all of the land of Goshen, but it was light in their dwellings. And what's also interesting is this applies to all over the Bible. When you see sons of Israel, that's actually referring to everyone who has faith in Yehovah, who's wanting to walk in God's ways and follow him. When it says sons of Jacob, that's when it's referring to the direct descendants of Jacob, the man. But sons of Israel is Israel by faith. So Gentiles who are believers in Yehovah are included in sons of Israel. So everything that is talked about in the Bible that's referring to sons of Israel applies to Gentile believers also. And so it's just interesting to me that the sons of Israel had light in their dwellings. No electricity, but light in their dwellings miraculously when everything else was covered by a darkness that was so thick that it could be felt and you couldn't even see anyone in front of you. Like, I'm guessing you couldn't even see inches from your face. That's just intense to imagine. And then it makes me think of how, as believers, like, we have light inside of us, that the Holy Spirit is inside of us, illuminating our hearts. And I've also heard this analogy once. You know how God uses the analogy of us being jars of clay, and with the cracks in the jars of clay can let the light poke through. So not to cover up your cracks with a whitewash tomb type of, like, don't paint over your jars so that the light can shine through our cracks, which is just a fun analogy. But it's just interesting how God's presence was showing up in the form of light in the dwellings of the sons of Israel, which would have included the Egyptians that were wanting to follow Yehovah. In 3 days, it makes me think of Jesus being in the tomb for 3 days, Jonah being in the whale for 3 days, just the darkness for 3 days. It seems like there's a lot there, and it just seems like there's a lot of depth there, and I'm not sure what all the depth is. If you have thoughts, please let me know. I would love to read them in the comments, what you make of this passage, Exodus 10:21 through the end of 10, the ninth plague. And it makes me think also, so all the plagues are, I've learned that all the plagues are addressing different Egyptian gods. So one of them would be the sun god. And so I imagine that this plague of darkness was kind of showing that Yehovah is more powerful than the sun god, than all of the gods of Egypt. So anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts, and please subscribe, like, share with friends, and join us on this journey of deeply connecting with God and others.